Okay. Yes, thank you. Welcome to the Ukiah Valley Sanitation District regular meeting on Wednesday, September 12th at 6 p.m. at the district office. Chelsea, can you roll, please?
Chair McNairland.
Present.
Vice Chair Reed. Here. Director Witt.
Here.
Director Bogdan.
Yeah, we knew Director Bachman would be absent. Thank you.
Director Marshall.
Present.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the people in the gallery for coming this evening, and now is your opportunity to address the board on any item that's not on the agenda. Would anyone care to address the board? No. Okay. We do have a short closed session this evening, so I'm sorry. That means the public has to step out and it has to be just the board, but it should hopefully only be about 15 minutes. And if you just, do you want us to get, yeah, would you like to leave and have us call you or text you, or
Well,
you just
15 minutes we can be outside.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. We'll go into closed session now. So it's 6:20 and we are back in open session and we have no report out from closed session. The next item on the agenda is approval of board meeting minutes. Does anyone in the gallery wish to comment on this agenda item?
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Seeing none, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
So the motion was by, did you get Director Reed, and second by Director Whiff. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item is the consent calendar. It's our check register and expenses and reports from the city. Does anyone from the gallery wish to comment on these items? No. Thank you. Seeing none, would anyone like to pull an item? No, seeing none. Is there a motion to approve the consent?
Motion to approve consent calendar.
The motion was by Director Reed, Vice Chair Reed. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Director Marshall. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed. Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding the district's 18-19 administrative budget.
Pass these down, please.
I was going to
One
let
over
the board
here.
discuss the items, maybe make any changes they see fit, and then open it up to the gallery for comments. Is that okay?
Fine,
Do we
Diane.
have copies?
Certainly. Hopefully I made enough. Yes.
We can share one.
There's plenty. I think I made 10, so if anybody needs them, please feel free.
Okay, so the floor is now given to Mark, our district manager.
Okay, thank you. I condensed this down a little bit. What I did keep on the far right-hand side, you'll see the August 8th version. That's the last one we had in our last board meeting. And then this is the updated version. It's dated September 12th. And what I wanted to do is make sure I put in bold changes or items that I thought had a significant change that we could talk about. So the first area is personnel and wages and payroll. We have a couple things going on there that is important. I know the district has gone out to look for a full-time or a permanent district manager. There's a process going on for that. When that individual comes on is yet to be determined, but I suspect it'll be in this calendar year without knowing. That's certainly up to the board's pleasure. But there are monies put in there for 8 months at a full-time position for that person. And then there is an amount for myself as the interim district manager. That amount is the maximum that could take place currently under the contract. It's part actual, in part maximum. The maximum that I was allowed to charge was 40 hours a week. I'm doing about 32 hours a week. So this number will be less than that. But I didn't want to have something in the budget that went against the contract in case something happened. But I just wanted the folks to know, so that would be maxed out. It's part actual, and that goes through November 30th. Again, it's up to the board's pleasure that, how long we want the contract to remain, less, or how you work going forward. Finding a district manager will all have a play in that. But this is an attempt to give some sort of sense of what I think the monies will look like for this fiscal year under a couple different scenarios. Again, this can be amended once you really know the situation, but those are the monies involved with that. We talked about there is for the administrative assistant, there are some money, there's an increase there for, we're going to be looking at salaries and hours, and that's again a maximum. And then there is for an assistant, we talked about bringing somebody else in to help with the workload at the district. It proved this summer to be quite beneficial. There's a lot going on. We have a lot of things to take care of in the office, so we have this idea that we may benefit from having a support system in there. And then the rest is the employer contributions. So those are the line items there. If there's any questions?
On office equipment, we were at 5 going, and
Sure.
and then it jumps up to 3,000.
Okay, I'll be glad to walk through this whole thing, or I can jump to the questions. I don't care however you, but I think.
How about let's just go
Kind of
through,
go through by
a section
category?
at a time, and then
Sure.
if you have a question
Sure.
about that section, then
Yeah,
we'll go to the next section.
office expense, there was only a couple changes. Office rent, I don't know if there's the availability here to maybe expand the office, especially if you have a full-time manager, if you have some other folks in there. There may be some room available, so I just added a couple extra $1,000 for the year in case some arrangement was to be made, so to reflect the idea that we're looking for space, and if it's available, great. And on the software, we need to do some upgrades, and I'll get to that also in our hardware. We need to get some, upgrade everything from QuickBooks to some existing software. We have a lot of old software stuff's not integrated, and so it just needs to be cleaned up and brought up to date. And so that was an estimate there to do that. Auditing and fiscal services, definitely an increase. We have, as you know, about 10 years worth of statements that need to be taken care of. We need to get and we are progressing on that. We need to get the financials prepared. There needs to be a determination of how many years are going to be audited. So I put in what my estimate I thought would be. If it's less, it will go down. And again, these are estimates and hours that are going to take. Part of the issue is when you have so many years and you're working with different entities, the city, the county, and our own financials, it's hard to get a real clear shot or clear picture of what it's all going to take. But I think this is a good number for 10 years. So enough said about that. Bookkeeping services, about the same. Accounting startup dropped a little bit. I don't think we'll need quite as much money in there as we clean up our books from prior years. And financial review is a number of either some studies, support, reviews of different initiatives that may be taken on. So we might need monies for those. That would be in some cases one-time shots. Engineering services dropped from 35 to 20. We're using the city more going forward, so I think there will be a decrease in the expenses on the engineering services. I think the biggest item is the rate study. Sean White from the city reached out to me last week, wanted to talk about doing a cooperative rate study with the city and the district. There was a proposal that he had. It's up to the board, of course, but I thought it was a good time to at least have that discussion. There was a proposal that he had. It was roughly $55,000 to do a combined study for the city and the district to do a comprehensive rate study. So
55 per each?
no, this is total. This is total. So it would be split. So actually, this is probably overstated, right? As soon as I said that, I put in the whole 50.
I thought it was 50.
Yeah, no, so did I. I mean, I put in 55 because that was on the proposal, and it didn't. Ernie, you brought that to our attention. So it would be less, right, if we split the cost.
Well,
It's always good to be under budget.
Would we split that 50-50 or 47?
Well, I think we would split it on the existing ratios that
47.
yeah, right. Yeah, I would assume that would be the case. Now, again, you'll have a proposal. Sean and I are going to talk. you would have a proposal brought forth to the board, right? And
Sure.
you would go through and do it. But I think it's well worth everybody's effort to at least think about that. Sean reached out, and I think it was a good proposal on his part, and perhaps timely. And legal fees estimate as of now, and the rest of those items are pretty much standard issue, kind of have held a historical pattern. So that is the budget as it stands. So any questions?
Give the board members a few minutes to look
To
at everything
digest
in
this,
there.
I tried to make it
Yeah.
as small as possible.
also
so
give
it
the
was
gallery a
difficult
few
to-
minutes.
Yeah, difficult to read. It's always
Oh, that's good.
appropriate budget.
On the audit
Good job.
services, they went from 20 to 105. Is that because that's the year we do the audit?
Or the fact that we haven't done one.
Well, we haven't done audits for.
Right. So you don't-
Oh, I don't know who put that in there for last year. That was a budget that I think anticipated that there was just going to be one audit for 1 year. I don't know how that budget number came about. I had a sheet. I was just trying to give you the historical perspectives of what I've seen. But I can only imagine that the person that put that together felt there would be a 1 year budget, but we're in arrears
Okay.
by 10. So that's why there's such a significant increase.
Any questions, Andrew? Vice Chair Reed? Dr. Webb?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm going to open it up to the gallery. Are there any questions or comments from the gallery regarding this item?
Who exactly do you engage to do your financial audit, or are you planning to engage to do your financial audit?
Yeah, we'll have have two CPA firms. We'll have one to prepare the numbers and the financials, and then we'll have another one depending on the audit. They obviously, whatever statements needed to be audited can't be done by the same firm.
Right.
And the second one is to be chosen. We're working with one now to kind of give us a sense and a roadmap of what we actually need to be done.
What's the name of the one that you have now, currently?
It's CLA.
CLA.
Yeah,
Now, Mark, there was discussion of using the same auditor that the city uses. Is that still,
I think that is off the table for now.
that is?
That is off the table.
There's no efficiency in that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think that's to be decided maybe is the best way.
Well, we'll discuss an update on the audit more under general manager's report. So, are there any more questions regarding the budget? Nope, seeing none. Okay, I'll close comments from the gallery. Any board members have any more questions? So we need to approve a budget. People. I would like to amend the rate study to the appropriate 47%, which would be $25,850 from 55. And then, Mark, you can go ahead and change that round number.
Wouldn't it be the 53?
We're
Oh, 53%. But
Or 53, 47, they're 47 on the operations of the treatment plant. So is it that proportion that we're utilizing?
We're using today under our current agreement
Oh,
we have with the city right now.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay,
47%.
okay.
Yeah, we'll use the one that's currently.
And then also, just to point out, under capital expenditures,
Yes, I'm sorry. I neglected.
we don't have any idea right now. We can always amend this budget, but we have to get something approved, and that will take communication with the city or, to see if there's any
Right.
capital expenditures to happen
And
this next year.
And they have some in their budget for this, but I think this would be ours
Right.
to look at. So to be identified, we should come up with the capital budget
Okay.
next step.
So, can I entertain a motion?
I move to accept the proposed budget with the amended rate study from $55,000 to $25,850.
There is a motion by Vice Chair Reed. Is there a
I'll
second? Second by Director Whip. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. And next item, the agenda. Item number 7, announcements, other business matters, matters from staff. Does anyone in the gallery wish to comment on this item? Seeing none? Okay. If any time you want to raise your hand, I'll open it up again to you.
Jump in.
It's a small meeting. It's not a big deal. Okay, general manager's report.
Sure. So now that we have a budget here for the district, we do need to get back to the business of getting with the city and going through the budget process with them. It's been put off, but we need to resume that. So at some point, I guess I'll reach out to Dan Buffalo, see if I can set up a time, and then we will continue with the process. The city has approved their budget, I believe, but we need to review it. And I think there will be items on this budget that we'll want to include in that process as well. So that process is still outstanding. I would like to think that we would get that done in September. That would be the aspiration, to get that behind us and moving forward. Let's see. I will be meeting with Dan Buffalo tomorrow with the accountant from CLA. We have a meeting in the morning, so that'll be taking place. We get progress, I think, on that front. The sewer rate project is, I believe, I'll say it's 98% finished, getting all the information over to the city for the billing of our customers. Some have come in with their, as you would expect, after getting their new bills, and they've had water changes. Chelsea's been handling those and doing a very good job on that. Let's see here, what else? We touched on the hiring process. That's for the board to decide and move forward. I know you have your resumes.
Are we gonna set a date for that soon?
Yes, we can. When does Director Bacham return?
Next week?
Next week? Maybe I can have Chelsea reach out to everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to reach her right now. I feel like
When she gets back,
Yeah.
Because of the shark attack?
oh wait, you have to hold up. Director Bacham is
She's
enjoying
Kayaking
herself,
through.
kayaking, and we have to
that's
show.
Yeah.
Did you get that, Sky? Okay. The shark attack. So when she returns,
It's too cute.
nobody was harmed during this. It was just
Except the shark.
she's fine.
That's right, yeah.
She'll be back.
All right, that's great.
Okay, so when
That should make the minutes.
Right.
yeah, that should make the minutes. So
Maybe if, the easiest way, I think, to set up meetings like that, there's a, I forget what the
There's
name of the
there's an
website
app.
is. Yeah, but it would be nice if we could do kind of like a few dates and times, and then everybody can log into
Are
it.
you
and-
familiar with that? The city's used it. a
What is
few
it? I'm
times.
sorry, what's the app?
It's a program that checks it's a online program. You can put which days and times you're available, and then it reports back to the person. And I think the city used that to schedule our meetings. Dan or someone sent it to me once, and it's a good way just to check everyone's times. And maybe, do you think after the meeting you can share that with Chelsea?
Doodle.
Doodle. Oh, that's it. Doodle.
Doodle.com.
So can the week after Director Bacham returns, check the schedule for this room, and then
that's the first thing we have to.
and then based on that, we'll try to get a workshop
But
together.
are you guys looking at like next month or when?
As soon as possible.
A week after Director Bacham
Yeah.
returns.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, I don't want to wait until the next regular meeting to
Yeah,
start.
we'll
going
set
through.
up a workshop. Sorry.
No, I think that's good. It's important to have these conversations. There's been some activity. Joe Thomas approached me looking for some possible annex information down on Ford Road. It was the property that his father Dan had one time. So I've got into contact with the city, our attorney, and sent him any of the historical stuff that we had on file in the district. The Reese Winery permit and the discharge permit are moving along. We've contacted them, we put into contact with the city, turned it over from Leonard to take care, so hopefully that is moving along at a timely pace and they'll be able to get up and get going and make progress in that.
So that's not finalized.
I haven't got any report back. I called Ben about another matter last week over at the city, and I didn't get any word on it. So
I'll
I
talk
don't know.
to Ben.
You want to talk?
One of the most important pieces of that project at this point is connecting that sewer,
Okay.
because of the fact that getting it up and ready to run, because they're gonna be processing some grapes, and if they could process it through their treatment facility, it's gonna be a whole lot cheaper than, well, maybe not, maybe Coal Creek Compost, I gave them a number of Coal Creek
Sure.
Compost, maybe they'll take it and put it in their compost and be happy, but I don't know that, I haven't found that out.
So they plan to crush a lot there this year? Who knows?
I don't know how much they're gonna crush,
Yeah.
they don't, there's no utilities because of the
Yeah.
permitting process and PG&E's meat grinder and all the other, I got a call today that it's okay to put it in PG&E now.
Okay. So
And it was like, I wanna go work somewhere else until we get better.
we're fighting battles on a
What's
few
up, Matt?
fronts. Okay.
Can I take a question from the gallery? Is that all right?
Which property is this, I'm sorry?
Masonite, or the new big gray building there.
Yeah,
Right there by Ross Liberty.
It's a winery that's going, like a 20,000 case winery that's going to have a aerobic treatment unit that I'm not totally familiar with. But it's supposed to reduce the BOD from 1,600 to 200 without any problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. I've been in contact with the county on a number of issues and talking to Lloyd, catching him up on where we are to meet some backstanding operations we have, and also to talk about perhaps even using their software until we get ours up for some budgeting stuff. We'll drop this budget in their track since we write most of the checks. Kind of give us another tool to track the financials, and then we can sort of migrate all of that over to in-house when we get the time to do that. And as I said, Chelsea's been busy fielding a number of questions, which you would expect at this point, doing the rest of the business. I did get a record retention policy from to go. We have a lot. I think we need sort of a house cleaning.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff going on.
I saw drawers full of
Yeah.
minutes from 2011.
And they're just all over, and I think we need to get all of this taken care of. There's reasons why it wasn't in the past, and that's fine, but
The
that's all
problem
important.
is, there's
Yeah.
nowhere to really put them.
There's just boxes everywhere, and who knows if they even need to be around. So
Wait,
those are just things.
Did
It's just
we get
administrative.
an answer
stacking
from Doug on how long we do have to retain minutes?
Minutes
Could
I'll
we
have to
scan
go.
them and have them
That's what
electronic?
my question was, can we,
Yeah, but that's costly.
is it?
It's
Yes.
cheaper than renting a storage unit to keep them in.
Well, we don't have a storage unit.
I know, but I'm just saying if we have to get to the point where we
But I mean,
Need
if
them.
we only have to hold them 7 years, we could still get rid of it.
Yeah, so there's accounting, legal, and organizational documents, and they have a lifespan from perpetuity to 3 years, right? So we just need to go in, sort of sort everything out, put them in their respective stacks, and deal with them appropriately. And then storage certainly can be electronically. Yeah, right. I mean, what we could do is scan in. I would
I
say
think
that
certainly
we do
moving
that.
forward now.
Yeah, and moving
Nice.
forward, you make those efforts so that you have them in there, so that you've already started that file. But as I said, it goes back to 1970, and who knows, right? And it just adds up. So that's really it.
That's why we need a little extra help in that office.
Yeah, to sort through those type of things and get it done. So that's it for me.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments from the gallery on this item?
Yeah, I would agree with him that yes, there are some that are 3 years to perpetuity, but there are scanning mills that will just do this, and it's a fairly painless process to have a lot of these transferred over. Although some of the actual documents will need to be retained as hard copies forever. So, but by going to one of these scanning mills, you can certainly reduce space and increase security, because then you could have 2 or 3 copies and have them in different places in case, heaven forbid, a fire or an earthquake destroys them. Then you have a set of backup documents in another place.
Yeah, no, it's really good to have them offsite on the cloud. So
Yeah.
wherever you want
I
to
know
you want to
I
have
do,
2 copies.
that's that. I'll ask you what the cost is.
So there's no doubt.
Even backing up in general, all that detail.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Okay, any other questions for our general manager? Nope. Directors reports, do any directors have any reports? Chelsea, do you have any important letters received or sent that we should know about?
Or even not important.
Or any?
That's right.
Any?
No.
Is there any hate mail you should bring to our attention? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, the next regular meeting is October 10th, 2018, but we hope to have a workshop before then where we will be going through the resumes for hiring a district manager. Okay, the time is 6:44 and we are now adjourned. Thank you.
This can't be a